Hi, homemakers. I am so sorry for jumping on just a little bit late, but it was like just as I got ready to set up, several things went wrong all at once. Phone calls, and hubby needed something, sister needed something. It was like, oh my goodness. But now I am finally here and we can get this done, and it really shouldn't take us too long. So on this live stream, I'm just going to show you real quick how I do my herbs, how I dry my herbs. And I see Wendy is on. So Wendy, let me know if you can hear me okay. I can't really read the comments from here, but I already know Wendy's on. So Wendy, let me know if you can hear me. Miss Congeniality is on. So can you guys hear me okay? Let me know that, because I'm going to try and do it without the mic just so that I can get to the sink and move around. Okay, so everybody can hear me. All right, great. So I've got lots of questions about how I dry my herbs, and I encouraged my homemakers to plant an herb garden, and many of them did. And then they were like, well, what do we do with them now? So I wanted to show you that real quick. But before we get started, let me just say that this video is brought to you by Apron Diva, Pretty and Practical. We believe that an apron can be a homemaker's best accessory. And this is one of our new products. And it says dogs are a girl's best friend. And it's got a bunch of really cute little puppy dogs here at the bottom. So I think it's one of you guys who likes dog lovers would love it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, I wanted to show you some of the things that I've already done and what are some of the things that I use. And I will often take a spice jar that, let's say I purchase some spices and then I use them up. I will save the jar, peel the label off, then I can relabel the jar after I wash it out. Then I can use it for whatever. This one I've got some dried oregano in. This one I've got some dried parsley. This one some Italian seasoning. And I made my own Italian seasoning. Go figure. And I learned how to do that from my friend Mary at Mary's Nest. She makes all kind of goodies on her channel, and she showed how to do this in one video. I will find that video and I will link it in the description box below. But there's some Italian seasoning. And this is thyme. So this is a McCormick spice jar, and it had thyme in it at one time. But when I used all the thyme up, I just saved the jar. So now I put my own thyme in it. So there's that. Oh, and let me just say, if I sound a little nasal, I still am. And I've been taking my meds, and I've got a box of tissue over here just in case I need to use it. So hopefully all will go well. If you don't have your spice jars that you save from yourself, you can use mason jars or even other kinds of jars. For example, I've got some jars that there was some Smucker's ice cream topping in it. This jar will work well for my herbs as well. So I might end up using it today for something. We'll see. And then, of course, you've got your mason jars. And in this one, I've got some pineapple sage that I've got started. And you can see the jar's only about maybe a third of the way full. In this one, I've got some spearmint, and the spearmint is pretty much full. And oh, I need to smell it. It smells so good. And then this one is peppermint, which is not quite as full as the spearmint. And when I was a little girl and I had a cold, I always wanted peppermint sticks or peppermint drops. They always make me feel better. So I'm going to be making some tea later on. I've got this tea from Khadijah at Her Healthy Home, and she showed how she made this tea. And I will link that video below so you can check it out. But I'm going to drink that tea later on today to kind of just help clear everything out and just give me some cozy up comfort time. This one is a jar of lemon balm that I've preserved, and I've got more lemon balm outside that I'm going to be clipping today. And oh, this is another one. It's full of lemon balm. Lemon balm grows like crazy. It's almost a weed around here and grows so quickly. So let me just move these out of the way. And then the jars that I'm using, most of them are just my ball mason jars, and the little lids on top are either these, and you can get them like in a box like this, and I'll link them below, but it's just your leak-proof lids from Balm, and you can just screw them on so you don't have to use the actual metallic lids with bands, or this is just a little nondescript brand that I found, I don't know, Walmart or somewhere like that. So these are part of the things that I use. And then on this particular one, I put a label on the top so that I know what it is. And it's my pineapple sage, and I used these to put the to mark on, and these are Balm dissolvable labels, so they wash away with water. So once whatever's in it is done and you want to reuse the jar, and of course you can put the labels on the jar, you can put it on the top, you can put it wherever you choose. And then some of the jelly jars have this little space for the label in the front. It just washes away, and you can just kind of see here on the back right there, it shows you how it's on the jar. So you can do it that way, or you can put it on the top. So I'll link all of those things below so you can check them out should you desire. So now, what are the things that you're going to actually need to dry the herbs? And I dry mine the old-fashioned way. This is quick and easy. It's a quick and easy way to dry herbs. It doesn't involve using anything that you probably don't already have around your home. So what do I use? Well, I'll need some lunch bags, and these are just plain old regular lunch sacks, and I use those to mark on so that I know what's what. You'll need a marker, and you need some towels, and I've got a bunch of flour sack towels that I ordered from Amazon. I use them when I'm working with my herbs. My husband uses them when he's processing his fish. They're very easy to use, and they wash up nicely. And then, of course, you need some herbs. So I've been out in the garden, and I've already picked some. And these right here is my cinnamon basil. They smell so good. But I've got some cinnamon basil here. I've got a little lemon thyme here. And then I've got a huge bunch of curled leaf parsley. Even got a few grape tomatoes in here. Look at there. But I've got that. Back here, whoops. I've got some oregano. And I put little slips by each one just to help me remember what's what. And then I've got some pineapple sage right here. Look at this monster. The pineapple sage is growing like a huge bush, and it smells so good. So I've got some pineapple sage here. And then over here, I've got some spearmint. I've got peppermint and spearmint growing. This is the spearmint. And like I said, I just took a simple piece of note paper and just wrote the name of each item that I was working on. And oh, I forgot to show this. This was from my Gifts from the Garden video, where I had actually went ahead and put some of the dried herbs into some cute little jars that I had set aside, and then put them in this basket to use as a gift for one of my sisters. So you can do that with your herbs as well. So now, what is the first thing that I'm going to do? Well, I'll move these out of the way so that I can see what I'm working with. I'm going to move my little tags. There. So now the first thing I'm going to do is to rinse my herbs. Now I know some true herbalists don't rinse their herbs. I like to rinse my herbs, but it is a very gentle rinse. Don't give them a shower. You just want to gently rinse them. So I am going to start with this spearmint. So the first thing I'm going to do is just kind of spread my towel. Oh, I forgot. One other thing you're going to need. You're going to need some twine, and you're going to need a pair of scissors. So I've got those right there. So I'm going to spread my towel out. And this is the spearmint, and I'm going to bring the name of the spearmint over here, because I'm telling you, once you get to working with stuff, it's real easy to forget what you got. And then I'm just going to bring it over to the sink, and I'm just going to gently rinse it. And it's just a gentle rinsing. Like I said, I'm not trying to give it a big shower, but just a gentle rinsing, just in case there's any little insects or anything like that's on it. I like to just rinse it away. The other thing about when you pick the herbs, you want to pick them when there's still a little dew on them. So you want to pick them early in the morning and then work with them as quickly as you can. So now that I've got them rinsed, I'm going to just kind of shake them off. Just kind of shake the water off a little bit. And then I'm going to bring them over here and put them here on my flour sack towel. Just put them right there. And I've got right in front of it my little paper that says spearmint. And then next I'm going to get this curled leaf parsley. And you can't confuse the parsley, but still, it's just good practice to always label the things you're working with. Gonna give the parsley a little shower, just a little rinse. And like I said, some of the herbalists don't rinse their herbs. I like to rinse mine. And I'll just kind of put it right there like that. And then next, I'm going to get this pineapple sage. And look at this monster. Isn't it huge? Here's a bundle and here's some. So look at all of that. So I'm going to give it a good rinse. And I might rinse this with a little bit more force because these leaves are a lot larger and the stems are huge. So give them a good rinse. And it's not difficult to do. You just rinse them. And then give them a good shake. You guys should have seen me trying to get this set up. I thought I had everything ready. I had my iPad, oh, there's a little bug. See? That's why you rinse them. I think I'm going to rinse these again. Yep, that's why you rinse them. When I was trying to set everything up, put the iPad on the stand fell over. I was trying to use the microphone to make sure that everything was, that the audio was good. But it's a 6-foot mic, and I couldn't get them. I couldn't get the wire far enough away that I could walk over there. All right, so now I've got these rinsed. So the next thing I would do is just towel dry them, just kind of loosely. So I'll just take a towel and put it on top like this. Just like that. Just to kind of get some of that moisture off of them. Flip them over a little bit. And it takes parsley forever to dry. Now, I like to dry mine the old-fashioned way. I hang them up with a string and I put them in a little paper bag. Okay, now I'm going to use this same towel because, you know, they're just herbs. And pat these dry. And I can't see comments from here. I don't have X-ray vision or Supergirl eyes, so I'll have to check out the chat in a little bit. but I wanted to go ahead and get the business done. So for those of you that just wanted to see the business end of this video, you'll see it. Okay. I will tell you too, when I was at Khadijah's, I also got some sage from her. And I took it to my daughter's and I dried it. Well, started the drying process there. Me and my granddaughter Jordan did, and Jordan thought it was so much fun. She says, "Oh, look at me, I'm an herbalist." So she thought that was pretty fun. Okay, I'm going to now just take the towel off and let these just kind of start to air dry. So now the next thing you want to do is you're going to want to cut some twine. And you might want to try using scissors at work. Those kitchen shears really don't work well on anything other than veggies now. So I'm going to cut a couple pieces of twine. Keep it in mind that I will keep the string from other batches. So I'll take the twine now and I'll fold it in half like so. And then I'll just tie a little knot at the end. So here's a knot at one end, and I've got just a little loop at the other end. And then I'll get a paper bag and a marker, and we're going to start here with the spearmint. So I'll just write on the bag, spearmint. And today's date, 7/30/21. And it'll probably need to be in this bag about 2 to 3 weeks. And I like to put mine in a bag because just in case any of the leaves drop off, they drop into the bag and not on the floor. But some herbalists have a little room or a little place where they like to hang their herbs, and they just hang them up and don't put them in the bag. So that choice is up to you. But you want to put together a nice little bundle of herbs, maybe about like that. And then I wrap the string around and pull it through the loop. So now I've got a little bunch of spearmint. Now, when I say how to do the hanging portion, some people will just hang their herbs on, say, a hook or something like that. Oh, you can't see it. Well, some people will just hang the herbs like this from some hooks that they might have in their pantry or some other storage option. I like to put mine in a bag like this. And like I said, you know, I've shaken off most of the water. I'll put them in the bag, and I didn't get my stapler out. So I'll put it in a bag like this, and I've got the name of the bag written on here. And then I'll fold a corner over, and I'll staple this corner, but I'll leave this part open so that air gets in there and can circulate. Let me grab my stapler. Hang on. I know I'm not supposed to leave the screen, but the stapler was on a side that I couldn't get to without walking around the iPad. So and I got both of them just in case one didn't work. I'm getting a little snuffly, so hang on a second. All right, let me wash my hands again real quick. I got so much stuff up here. I'm almost got things in the way, but I needed to have everything like right close by so that you could see what I was doing. Okay, so now I've got that right there. I've stapled it shut. So now this is hanging this way, and then this part here is kind of still open to air, and then I'll just hang it Well, you can't see that, but I'll just hang it on a hook, or I'll set it on a table in my dining room. My dining room is kind of dark because I keep the curtains in there closed, and so I'll just set it aside somewhere like that. Now I'll do one more. That's the spearmint. So I'll go ahead and get all the spearmint done. And I try not to put too big a bundle together because remember, they are moist and you don't want them to mold. So you want to put just a small bundle. And then I also will reuse the lunch sacks. So like you can see, like back here, I've got a bunch of sacks that I have used and there's stuff in them. And when I get those things out, I'll mark off the name of whatever was in there and then I'll reuse those sacks again. But like I said, you want to put a small bundle together. So here's one of the strings that I used before, and I'll just put it around. I'll pull the knot through the little loop. Here's another bundle. Have you guys ever had one of those situations where you got ready to do something and then just as you were ready to do it, it was like all heck broke loose? Everybody needed you at the same time. If you have, tell me in the chat box, what's happened to you and when? So here's another string that I've used before, and I'll just wrap it around. Another bundle, and then these are pretty little right here, so I'll just drop them in the bottom of the bag. Oh, hang on a second. Sorry. Sorry about having to keep stopping to wipe my nose and wash my hands, but and as I look out my window, I see this huge rabbit over there eyeing some of the things in my garden, wondering what he's going to have for lunch. But I was supposed to do my traditional homemaker show yesterday, and I wasn't able to do it because I just wasn't up to it. However, let me move this so you can see what I'm doing. And I had promised my viewers that I would do this herb thing the day before, and I couldn't get to it. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do this today by hook or by crook. And then it'll be done. Plus, I needed to get this done. I needed to work on these herbs. And I thought if I'm going to do it, then I might as well bring you along. Again, there's the name. I wrote it on the bag. I'm going to put this in the bag. And some of these that are just little, I'm just going to drop at the bottom of the bag. And they can just dry down there. So here's my string coming out the side. Gosh. I truly apologize. Nothing I can do. I've taken all my drugs today that I can take for now. So again, I've got this on here. I'll get it stapled together. There's a second bag of spearmint. And then one more bunch of spearmint to go. Couple leaves left. And there's another bag. And then I'll set these bags either on in my dining room, or I might hang them from a hook around like a shelf or something that I've got in there. Let me just set these out of the way real quick. I'm going to set them like right here. And then I'm going to put the parsley back behind me. I'm not going to do it right now. But I will work on the sage because there's something with the sage that I want to show you. So with this pineapple sage, you see how big the leaves are? So what you're going to want to do is to separate the stems. Okay, I'm just going to have to blow my nose. Hang on a second. I'm going to step off camera. This is very indelicate. Sorry, I washed my hands while I was in the bathroom over there. I have to wonder if maybe the peppermint and the spearmint is causing it to start to run more, because it wasn't running at all. So I thought, okay, I could go ahead and get this done. So when you see like big bunches like this, what I will do is like try to make it a little smaller. So I will cut them like this, so that I've got bunches that are about like this. And then I'll bundle these together. So here's one bunch. And then I'll just cut some of these off of here. And this pineapple sage smells so good. And I use it when I'm making like roast chicken. Oh my goodness, it just gives it the best flavor. So I got these cut off. Okay. Now put that in the sink. So here's one bundle of the pineapple sage. And then I'll put together another bundle of pineapple sage. And notice how large these leaves are. Now, I know some of you are probably wondering, why am I doing it this way? Because like I said, once I put them in the bag, they're probably going to stay in the bag for about 2 to 3 weeks, depending upon how large or how heavy the leaves are. Things like lemon balm tend to dry a lot quicker than other heavier leaves. And I just like to do it this way because, first of all, I don't need to do anything extra. I don't need to turn the oven on. I just put them in the bag and let them sit. And then when I'm ready to deal with them, I can. Whereas if I use a dehydrator, which I do have, and I will show you that in just a minute, I got to turn it on, listen to it run, and then it uses electricity. I mean, not very much, but just a little. But this way is just completely natural. So I thought I had another string, and I do not. So I will cut some more. And I will just do it this way. Tie a little knot. And then gather this into a little bundle. Pull this through the loop. Through the loop, Denise, not around the loop. There's another bundle. And then these are just like some of the large leaves that I cut off. And I can make a bundle of the leaves as well. Or some of the smaller ones I can just drop at the bottom of the bag. Isn't this apron adorable? Michelle, I know you like cats, but I just think this apron is adorable. It's got all these cute little dogs on the bottom of it. When me and Mickey Blue Skies were choosing some new products, she said, oh, look at the ones with the dogs. She loves dogs. And I thought, okay. But she says, oh, no, the ladies will love that. So you guys have to go visit the site. Check it out. Okay. So now I need to put it in a bag. And I'm just going to do one because you guys know the drill now. So I'm just going to do one. And I'll finish them up off screen. So this is pineapple sage. And I'll put the date, 7/30/21. And you see this one, oh, this stuff come out. Oh, my whole string came off. Or did I? I guess I hadn't put a string on that one because there's no string down there. Okay. Well, I guess I better get a string for that. How many of you guys are bothered by robocalls every day? We probably get
call from state universe.
We probably get 10 to 12 robocalls every day. Every day. And the robocalls have gotten, the people that make them have gotten pretty smart. They'll use a name or a number. Oh, there was a string on there. They'll use a name or a number.
Your credential information may got compromised. If you are the one who is using,
they'll use a name or number that is similar to a name or number of somewhere in your community. Like every day, at least 3 times a day, we get a call from someone that says they're Amazon and that our Amazon account is going to be billed for like $500 or $600 if we don't call this number immediately. Okay, there we go. All right, so now, and that's another reason why I like to put them in the bag, because what happens is as they dry, the stalks will shrink and then they can fall. So that's why I like the bag as well. Now, since this was such a long bundle, I'm not going to put anything at the bottom. I'm just going to use this, and that's it. But for the other ones that aren't quite as long, because this one is taking up pretty much of the room. So I'm going to just set them here on the table and put these behind us so you can see the next step. Okay. All right. Looks like I'm getting toward the end of my wax paper. So I'll put some wax paper on the counter. Let's see. This is peppermint, so I'll get that out. So this is some peppermint that I had set aside to dry earlier. So what I will do is I will kind of gently open the bag, because I can reuse these bags. And I take the mint out. And I take the string off of the bundles now. And I am very careful. One of the things that I make sure to do when I take the string off the bundles is that I don't unclip the staple right away, because I want the staple to still be attached to the string or the bag, because I don't want the staple to fall into my herbs. So I'll set that back there. So this is what this bundle of peppermint looks like. And if you listen, hear how crunchy, how crinkly it is? This lets me know that it's ready. So since this is peppermint as well, I'm going to just, well, before I do that, I'm going to just come over here and I'm going to take the peppermint leaves off of the stems. So just going to get the leaves off of the stem. Because if you see this way, I've got a long stem, and I'll just take the leaves off because I just want the leaves but not the stems. Now, if this is how I do it, other people may do it differently, and that's okay. This is just my way. I've got a book about how to use herbs. I will link those in the description box. I can't remember the name of them offhand, and they're put away right now with my cookbooks. So I will get those out after this live stream is over, and I will link them in the description box. But wax paper, I use it for everything. Some of you might say, I don't have any wax paper. Well, you could use, I guess, aluminum foil or whatever, but wax paper is pretty handy, so it's something I certainly encourage all homemakers to have on hand. So I get this peppermint off of this stem. And I'm not going to crunch it up or pound it right now. You can do that when you're ready to use it if you like. I usually just put mine in it like this, and depending upon what I'm going to do with it will determine whether or not I pound it with my mortar and pestle or what. But this peppermint smells so good. I used some of it when I made my peppermint hot chocolate as a garnish. So if you missed that hot chocolate, the frozen hot chocolate video, please check it out. I see we've got some more people joining us, but ladies, I can't see who it is from here. I have to walk around to look, and then I'm off camera. So I'm off camera enough when I have to stop and be indelicate, when I have to address my nose situation. So yeah, try to get all the stems off, because I really don't like having the stems in my herbs. Okay. So I've got all the stems off of this. Let me get my put my little funnel here in my jar. And the jar says peppermint, the bag says peppermint, so I just double check that. And then I just pour it in. For a call. I've been waiting for a call all morning. And of course, now's the time it comes, so I'll just return this call later. So let me come a little closer so I can hit the decline button. There, sorry. So there's the peppermint that I've just taken. Now, here's an important thing too. You want to make sure that your herbs are good and dry, because if there's any moisture left in the herbs, then they can mold in your bottle or your jar. So make sure that they're good and dry. All right, so this is done. I'm going to put it over in the trash. So I'm just going to drop this in here. And then I've got, let's see, which is a jar that's partially full? That's pineapple sage. Some basil. Lemon thyme. Well, I've got some sage. That's the person I've been waiting for, but I can't pick up the call right now, so I'll just, oh, I know what. Let me call her and tell her I'm doing a live stream. I can find the number off there. It's just hard to see the number from there. Guys, I tell you, this never happens to me. This just never happens. But I've been, okay, now the number's gone. Okay. I tell you, it's one of those days where everything is happening at one time. And this will be the first time this person has called me. So I'm looking for an editor to help with some editing of video. And I'm sure that's who that is. But, okay. So here I've got a bag of sage. And the jar of sage that I have here is pretty full. So what I'm going to do is start another one. And I like these jars right here. These are just ball jars, but they're the ones they call jars for sharing. So you can share different things with them. So, again, I'm going to carefully open this bag because I don't want to get the stapler into my herb. And I will want to reuse this bag. So here's the bag. I can set it aside and use it again. And then these are already pretty much off the stem, just a little small stem they've got there. So I'll just break the stem off and drop them in the jar. And I love sage on chicken and on pork, but particularly on chicken. I like to make roast chicken with sage, turkey with sage and orange. Oh, that is just so delicious. And there are other things that you can do with sage. And like I said, I did get some sage from Khadijah. And I did work with it with my granddaughter. And I'll show you, I'll grab it real quick because I know just where it is. So here's the sage, just a little bit in here. I'll put this lid on it, and then I'll get this label, which is dissolvable, and I will just write here on the label, and this is just garden sage, and the date. I'm putting it in the jar. And I could put the label here, but I don't like it like that. So I'm going to put the label there. And I can see in the jar what's in it, but also I can see the label there. So there's that. And then it's good to go. And they should be good in your jar for about 18 months, I would think. Maybe a little longer. So there's that. So I'm going to set these bags aside and off so they're out of my sight because they're causing a lot of visual clutter right now. And I think that's all I'm going to do with this. Now, I do have, oh, I was going to show you the other sage. Hang on, let me grab it. I know that the iPad will show me, the camera follows me, and so it will show me over there. So this is the sage that I got from Khadija, and me and Jordan took care of it in Memphis. And so you see, Jordan had some yarn, and so we just used the yarn. And then my husband grabbed some little paper lunch sacks, but everything else we needed was right there. And so here's where she wrote on the bag what it was. And I said, well, I'm going to take 2 of the bags with me. And then I left 2 of the other bags with her. So there's that. Now I do have a dehydrator right here. And it is a Presto Dehydrator. And I do use it, particularly when I'm doing lemon balm or like that garden sage and things like that. If I've got some leaves that might be a little heavier, or I'm just in the mood to just put it in the food dehydrator, I will. And then it has some stuff on the front, some information as to how high it should be on and what I should use. There's also a little booklet that goes with it. I will be doing a video on how to use this, so that's for another time. But just in case people had the question. The other thing is you can dehydrate those herbs in your oven. And you just need to Google how long you need to have them in there. But the biggest thing is when you dehydrate them in the oven, you want to make sure when you get them out, you've got a nice little crinkle on them. And if they're not in there as long as you like, you can always take them out and put them in a brown paper bag. So there's that. So I think I've shown you everything. Oh, one more thing. When I did the parsley, the thing about the parsley is that when it dries, I've got a bag over here. Let me grab it real quick because it's behind me, but let me grab it real quick. I looked in 8 bags and the parsley was the last one. Now I know this parsley is not done. I put it in this bag on July 17th, just before we left to go on vacation. So you can kind of see it's still pretty thick here. But the thing about parsley is even when it dries, it's still pretty thick. And sometimes you'll wonder, like, gosh, is this parsley dry or not? So I always let my parsley sit in the bag, probably a little extra than it needs to, just to make sure it's good and dry. But even then, when it comes out of the bag, what I will do is I will put it in my, I've got an Emmy food processor, and I'll put it in the food processor and just kind of chop it up a little bit so that it comes out a little bit thinner, like that. For some reason, when I dry my herbs here at home, they don't come out all like flat and teensy weensy like when you buy them in the store. I don't know what it is. I don't know their process. So the parsley will still be pretty big if I don't like chop it up finely. So if you don't have a food processor, you can just take a knife, just take a knife like this. Like take a chef's knife and put it on a cutting board, and then just, let's say this is parsley, it's not, but and then just chop it up like that to get it a little bit finer, and then you can put it in your jar, that kind of thing. So that is how I dry my herbs. Okay, I'm trying to think. I think that's all I needed to tell you. So now I'm going to come around and then sit down, or at least bring the iPad closer so that we can just chat. I can see what you guys have to say. So, oh, the peppermint just smells amazing. So now, okay. All right. I feel like I've been so scattered today, but I tried to make sure that I got all the information into you. That was the important thing. I wanted to make sure that you knew exactly what to do. Now, as I said earlier, can you use your oven? Yes. You can spread them on a baking sheet, put them in the oven, make sure you check, like you can just Google how many degrees you need to put it on and how long you need to have it in there. Don't do like I did. I was trying to dry some orange peeling. I had all this orange wine, went through all the the process of getting it off the orange, chopped it all up real fine, put it on a baking sheet, put it in the oven, burned it up because I had it in there too long. So make sure you Google how long it should be in there, what degree you should set it for, and then watch it closely. When I put it in the bag like this, I don't have to worry about watching it. It's just in there. Okay, so now I'm going to go down and see. You guys have been making lots of comments. So, and let me just say thank you guys for jumping on. I so appreciate it, especially since I've been having all these issues today. You know, I typically lately have been doing live streams up in my office, but I needed to do this one here in the kitchen so I could show you stuff. And I've got my new iPad, and so I'm still working out the bugs with that. But anyway, so hey, Wendy Thomas, I'm glad you joined us. Miss Congeniality, one of my #1 fans. She's always here to support me. Hello. There's Earl K as well. And then my friend Michelle from My Everyday Wife Life. I've got your gift all packed up. So everything's packed up, ready to go. I need to hear back from Attitude, Gratitude, and Beautiful T Rachel. Those are the last two whose gifts aren't packed up because I don't have their address. So they need to email me that. And I'm talking about the gifts that I gave away for the Christmas in July. If you missed that series, oh, it was so much fun. You got to be sure and check it out. So be sure to do that. And oh, Wendy says cute apron. Yes. Let me see. How can I get over there so you can see it? I think this is a cute apron. Here, I'll let you see the bottom of it too. So you can see the puppy dogs on it. I think you should be able to see it this way. There we go. Look at there. Aren't they cute? Little dogs. So there's that. Oh, Vin Hennessy. Hey, Vin, how you doing? We got some guys jumping on with us today. Prepper Rhonda. Hey, Rhonda, I'm glad you're here. Do you preserve any of your herbs? Says Prepper Rhonda. So what do you prep? Do you prepare your herbs? And that's one of the things that I'm doing as far as my prep is concerned. I'm trying to grow as much as I can. So I started growing herbs and then preserving those. Simple Southern Reflections. Thelma, hey, how you doing? What is lemon balm used for? Oh, here, let me grab that. Lemon balm, you can use it to make, let me get this tipped up a little bit. You can use lemon balm to make a simple syrup, and then you can make lemonade. Or one of the ladies that I looked at, and I can't remember her YouTube channel now, she uses it to make soda. So instead of buying like purchase pop, as we call it here in Indiana, or soda, as my sister calls it in Delaware, she will use make the simple syrup with the lemon balm, and then you can add some other things and make your own pop or your own soda at home. And you can also use it as the simple syrup base for your lemonade. So you can use it for that. You can also use it for teas. It's supposed to be good for digestive issues and stuff like that. So you can use it for that. Michelle said she uses small mason jars for her herbs, and I will too, Michelle. I've got a little... like here is some, like a small mason jar that I've got in here. And I think this is like some Italian seasoning for, yeah, this is some Italian seasoning for Italian dressing. Did I put the name on it? No, I should have. And then over here is a small jar that I put in some lemon peel, and I did put the name on that. Like I said, the orange peel I burnt up and just had to throw it out. But the lemon peel came out much nicer. Just look at that. So I won't have to spend money on that this time. I've got some limes in the fridge, and I plan to try to get the lime peel off of that too. So Wendy said thank you. She didn't know how to do this. Her herbs are going up. Everything's going up. Everything is going up. So for you guys to be as independent as possible, and for my homemakers, I really try to encourage you to prepare. But I encourage you to prepare from the perspective of a homemaker and being prepared for the things that you and your family will need, regardless of whatever emergency may occur. So as we see prices begin to grow up, as we see this Delta variant of the COVID continue to go, and things get crazy again regarding, what's going to happen with whatever, then you need to be prepared. So I'm trying to be prepared with herbs from that perspective, and of course with some other things, but this is something that I can do. So Mary Dreer says, well, wait a minute, wait, I'm backed up for a second. So Wendy says herb prices are going way up at Sam's Club. Yeah, they're going up everywhere. And then Michelle says rinsing for her too. Don't want to miss any aphids, etc. from the garden. Yeah. I don't like little bugs. And then Mary said her herbs didn't turn out very well, but she's a jar saver. Guys, I'm going to grab some water real quick. I know it's a no-no to be drinking on screen, but my throat's getting so dry. I hope it don't sound too nasally. I'm going to get that tea that I got from Khadija as soon as I'm done with this live stream. Oh, so Mike Earl says the Blue Yeti mic is awesome. You know, Earl, I'm going to get another mic. You know, I was talking with Mickey Blue Sky. She's my admin, and she was looking for different mics. And I've heard about the Blue Yeti before, but I need something that when I'm over here and the iPad's over there, that you guys can still hear me. So I need something that's wireless. So Michelle says, does the brown bags help a lot? She tends to just hang a bunch. So, well, I think the brown bags help because if any of them drop, they drop in the bag. But just to hang a bunch on a hook somewhere works fine. If they're not dropping on the floor, you're good. My house gets really dusty, so sometimes I worry a little bit about dust settling on them. But just hanging them on the hook is fine. That's the old-fashioned way. You know, pioneers did it. People did it forever, and they did just fine. So the brown bags help me and others because it helps keep them off the floor. But hanging them on a bunch is fine. I knew what you meant, Michelle. Sage biscuits. Oh, Michelle, have your sister send that recipe. I would love some sage biscuits. Okay. Let's see. So Candace Beek says, once again, my video comes on right on time for her. She's got lots of herbs to dry. I know, it's harvesting time. So we were away on vacation last week, and we got back on Sunday night, and it's just been crazy ever since I got back, because whatever this is that's going on has started since I've gotten back. And I had to start getting my house back together, you know, doing laundry and trying to get back on my routine, and my garden did well. I was afraid I'd get back and everything would be dead, and it wasn't. One of my sisters came over and watered for me while I was gone, but I do have a lot of weeds out there that I need to get to. I did get a lot of my herbs cut before I left, and I just had them laid out on the counter on the flour sack towels so that when I came back, I just picked them up and put them in bags because, of course, in a week they weren't dry yet. But I was just thinking, in case everything dies while I'm gone, I would at least have gotten this much in. And I've been harvesting herbs almost weekly, particularly the basil. My basil's done really well this year, so I'm going to make some pesto and some other things. So Rosie Chaplet, hi Rosie, how are you? She said she's liked and shared, so I appreciate that. Todd, is mint easy to dry? Yes, mint is probably one of the easiest things to dry, and it's one of the easiest things to grow because they will take over your garden. So yes, they're very easy to dry. And this is oregano. Just in case you missed it, Todd, because I know there'll be some people that jumped on late. This isn't mint right here. This is my pineapple sage. That's what this is. This is my pineapple sage right here. But all you do so here's a bag that I've already done, but I'll just kind of show you again. So all you do is you rinse it, and then you tie a string around it. So I'm going to untie this so you can see it. So you just clip it, rinse it, and this is a very easy way to do it, Todd. You just clip it, rinse it, tie a string around it like so. I just make like a little loop, tie a string around it like this, and then I stick it down inside a bag, and I need another bag for this sage. So and I rinsed it, and then I towel dried it, and I rinsed it, and then I shook all the water off that I could in the sink, And then I dabbed it with a towel. And then I put it in the bag like this. And then I'm going to clip the bag together just in the corner. I'm clipping the string and the bag. And then the other thing I do before I even put it in there is I'll write on the bag what it is. So this is pineapple sage. And you would do mint the same way, and then just put the date on it that you do it, that you put it in there. So then it's like this. I'm going to get your name off here just so people can see. So now I can either hang it on a hook, or I can just set it in a cool, dark place for about 2 weeks. And then once it's been there long enough, and I'm going to move this again now. Once it's been there for about 2 weeks, and this is some sweet marjoram. Both of these bags are sweet marjoram. And this shows you how I'll reuse the bags. Like I had something here once before, something else on here. So now I've got this marjoram that's in here. So what I will do is I've got a jar here that some like Kraft caramel came in. I'm going to rinse off, not rinse off, but shook off my wax paper. And now I'm going to open this bag. And this bag is probably going to be discarded now because I've used it enough. I've used it several times and it's starting to get kind of tacky. So I'm taking it out of the bag like so. And this is the marjoram. And let me get my label ready quickly so that I don't forget what I'm doing. I've got a dissolvable label. I'm just going to put on here sweet marjoram. And the date that I'm putting it in the jar. And you would do mint the same way. And then I can just put it on the front of the jar like this. And now I'm just going to, let me tip it down a little bit because I'm thinking you might have missed it. I knocked this iPad over several times while I was trying to get this set up, and I don't have my zag screen on it yet. All right, I don't think this is working. And then I would get the marjoram off, just kind of crinkle it off so that it goes onto the wax paper. And then once I get it all off onto the wax paper, I'll just put it in a jar. And you do your mint the exact same way. And this is what I talk about when I say make sure you don't get your staple in your spices. So that's why I like trying to keep an eye on it so that I don't let that fall into my spices because I don't want that to be in there. And then here's my jar. Now this isn't a regular like a wide mouth jar. This was like some Smucker's whatever was in there. So and then I just poured in. I've changed the setup so it's hard to see. And then I've got some of that sweet marjoram in here. And you do your mint the same way. So there's that. Okay. So yes, mint is very easy to dry. Oh gosh. You know, Wendy, you say it's real life, and it is, but I really try to make sure that I keep my hands and everything washed. And I tell you what, if you don't wash your hands or people think you don't wash your hands, people watching will make comments. So the paper bag idea is really good. Linda says, thank you. You're welcome. Oh, okay. So Wendy wants to know how I use some of these. Well, with the spearmint and the peppermint, like one of the things you can use for those, like I said, well, with the peppermint, particularly peppermint hot chocolate, you can use the mint when you're cooking lamb. There's also recipes that you can use to cook pork, different things like that. You could definitely use them in cooking. Probably the biggest thing people use your mint and things like that for, though, is to make different little herbal teas and tinctures and things like that. Herbal teas are so nice, you know, they're caffeine free, and you know, you could spend a good little few dollars on a box of herbal teas. I like to buy the Yogi brand, and they're almost $4 or $5 a box. And in the height of the shutdown, when I tried to get some of the Yogi brand tea that I buy all the time, I couldn't find it in the store because we couldn't go out. It was out in the store, so I tried to get it on Amazon, and it was like almost $20 for a box. I'm like, what? So, but you can make your own herbal teas and different things like that. I explained what you can do with the lemon balm, with the sage, again, chicken, turkey, pork. There's all kinds of things you can do with sage. And then Michelle's sister has a sage biscuit recipe. I'm going to make them kind of savory, so that sounds pretty good. With your lemon thyme, I use it a lot in cooking, particularly with chicken and noodles. You can use it in soups and stews and those kinds of things. Almost anything you use, you can use your herbs with. And then your parsley, your oregano, your basil, those things you use when you're making spaghetti, Italian seasoning, you can make your own, things like that. Yeah, Candace, it's just too hot to turn that food dehydrator on right now. Plus, it's just a little noisy, I think. So Michelle says the Michigan Gardener has a video on how air drying retains more essential. Oh, good. That's true too. I just started drying herbs last year, so there's still a lot I don't know. But I did read something about using this method helps to retain some of the natural oils, which of course I'm all about that. So there's that. Let me get this one out of the way. Hi, Vamsy. Good to have you here. I'm doing well. Oh, I know. You guys heard the Amazon person. The first time my husband heard it, he was like, "Hun, they called us from Amazon." I said, huh? I said, "Babe, Amazon would not call us. That's a scam. They call us with this 3 times a day." He said, "Yeah, but they said they're going to." I said, "Honey, it's not true. But if you're concerned about it, let's go to our Amazon account and check." I said, "You don't click on those links they give you, and you don't call the numbers they give you. Just go to your account and you can check." It's a huge scam. I'm telling you, they call us 3 times a day. Hey, Cindy, I haven't talked to you in a good long while. It is nice to see you. Let's see what else. Yes, Cindy, please watch my frozen hot chocolate video. It was part of my Christmas in July series. So it's like a twist on the cold weather things that you would normally do in hot weather. So, Cindy's working on her master bedroom. Girl, I'm working on every room. Mimsy Whimsy. And I found out Mimsy's name is Melissa McIntosh, and she is a published author. She's got a book of poetry, which I mentioned in my Christmas in July wrap up. You guys have to be sure and check her out. Mimsy, if I can remember to, I'll go ahead and link your book below so you can check it out. And I'll also link some of mine. Now, Michelle, you're probably talking about these. These are the shareable mason jars. Aren't they pretty? But you only get, I think, 8 of them in a set. So like with most of the mason jars, you get like 12 or something like that. In these, you only get 8. So they're a little bit pricier, but they're meant to be used as gifts for sharing. But I kind of like putting my herbs in them. Oh, wow. Wendy, where are you? It's a beautiful day here in Indiana. My husband said, "Hun, it's nice out." He was out sitting on the porch. It is just beautiful today. But my tomatoes are still drooping, so I'm going to have to go out and water in a little bit. Michelle said it's 90. Heat index is 100 in Florida. Wendy, you're in the Midwest. Where are you in the Midwest? I'm in Indiana. Today, we've got beautiful weather. So Michelle says her husband makes beef jerky with his hydrator, but she never uses it. I just do drying of the herbs so far, but I'm going to try and dry some lemons, like make some lemon slices and dry those. I've seen, I think it was Heidi at Rain Country where she had some, or it could have been Miss Lori who had some like dried lemon. And I thought, let me try that. Growing with Hudson, hello. It's nice to have you here. So Michelle says it's a little cooler where she is than other places. Let's see, oh, there we are. Yes, Growing with Hudson, tell me your name. We like to call each other by name, but please do watch the replay. And then, oh, Melissa, I am doing better. Well, this was down here. Melissa, I am doing better, but I'm still snuffling. I've been having to like turn around or get off camera to wipe my nose. I've been taking all my drugs, but it's still like there, but I am better today. And let's see. Dried orange peel, yes, it is good in baking and stuff like that. Excuse me, throat getting frog in it all of a sudden. So Vamsy wants to know, where can you store dried herbs? Well, I've just put these in my spice cabinet, like the ones like these that I used in these spice jars. And like this was a spice jar that I had emptied and, reused, repurposed. This was one. And this was one. So my husband peels the labels off of these. This was a McCormick spice jar as well. But since I was going to put thyme in this one, I didn't see the point in him taking the label off. It says thyme for me to put a piece of tape on it that says thyme. But Vamsy, you want to know where I keep them. The jars like this, I have a spice cabinet right here, and I put a little wrap on the door, and I can just keep them right there. The bigger spice jars, like these, I keep in the pantry that's over there. That's where I keep them. For the ones that I'm drying like this, I have a hook in the kitchen that I can hang them on, or I will hang them on a couple hooks on some shelves that I've got in the dining room. And just let them sit there. Okay. Okay, where am I? This took longer than I thought, but I'm glad we got it done. Concerned parent. Hey, concerned parent. I forgot your name. You have to tell me again. I'm terrible sometimes lately, but she said she was really waiting for me to do this. So yeah, a lot of my subscribers have planted some things, and it's all, like I said, it's time to harvest those things. You want to get them before they flower. Pinch the little flower buds off so they don't. Marjoram, you can use marjoram. It's a very light fragrance, or very light taste. So you can use it in like you might use your oreganos and things like that, but it's a very light fragrance, so you can use it in lots of things to cook with. Oh, so Michelle says mint and parsley with some buckwheat bulgur, lemon juice, and oil. Very delicious dish called tabbouleh. One of my favorite dishes to use, fresh mint and parsley. I'm going to give that a try. Tabbouleh. We'll give it a try, Michelle. Thank you. Hey, Rachel. Good morning. Good to have you here. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. So Candace is in Northwest Arkansas. Oh my goodness, 110. That's crazy. And Michelle, I know you like that. I just saw your there you were. Mint likes Michelle likes mint in a cold glass of iced tea. Yeah, iced tea, mint juleps, all kind of things. The whole nation has been having real weather. Yes. Cal. Hey, Cal. Good to have you jumping on. It's always good to see you. Concerned parent, Beverly. I'm sorry, concerned parent. I'm sorry, Bev. I just forgot. So, hey, Bev. So I think I've got to everybody's comments, and I didn't intend to keep you guys real long, but I think I got everything covered. So If you want, I've got another video on how to preserve herbs where I show you how you can freeze some, how you can use some in the oven, and then of course this method as well. And I will link that video below, and I will link Mary's video where she shows how to make the Italian seasoning, because you might want to use your herbs to do that. I'll link Khadijah's video below where she shows how to make that herbal tea that she sent me that I'm going to enjoy in just a few minutes to help with all of this. And anything else I can think of that you guys might need. So thank you guys so much for joining me. You guys always make it so easy to do these live streams. I was running around like a maniac just trying to get ready. And I thought I had everything all ready. And then it was just like domino effect. Things just started going crazy. My husband needed something. My sister needed something. The phone was ringing. And I was like, okay, we're just going to have to get the live stream done, and then we can move on to some other things. And then I got to, of course, get my video done for Monday, because my video for Monday is, you guys know I'm trying to get my Swedish death cleaning done, and I've got to get my video done on, we're decluttering books. And I've got the video done, but I've got to get the editing done, so I've got that to do too. So, but anyway, I'm starting to ramble, so you know when I'm starting to ramble, it's time to wrap it up. So, ladies and gents, thank you so much for joining me today. If you missed how I do things, then of course, catch the replay. Don't forget to visit our sponsor, Apron Diva, Pretty and Practical. We believe an apron can be your best accessory. And check out any of my other videos or my homemaking stories that you've missed. And I will see you next time. Bye, guys.